Hi everyone, this is Farmer Anique from PV School Gardens, and today our lesson is called From the Garden to the Table. I like to start all my lessons with a question, and today I want you to ask yourself, if I were a chef, what would I cook? At my restaurant this summer, I've decided to serve pizza, salad, and watermelon. Now that we have our menu set, I want to take a little time to talk about what it means to be garden to table or farm to table. The philosophy of farm to table is basically to source your ingredients from either your own garden or from a local farm. So if your restaurant is a garden to table restaurant, the next question you need to ask yourself is, what ingredients can I grow myself or can I source locally from a farm? On my menu, I have pizza. So something I can definitely grow to make that dish is tomatoes. I'm also serving salad on my menu. And there's so many things you could put in a salad, but I know for sure that I can grow lettuce. So I'm gonna grow lettuce from my salad. As my dessert, I'm serving watermelon. Watermelons can be grown in the garden, and they can be sliced up to serve, or you can get really fancy and you can make it into a watermelon sorbet. Locally grown food is tastier, more nutritious, and fresher than store-bought food because it is grown seasonally and it doesn't have to travel across the country to get to your table. Food grown at home is also better for the environment because it saves on transportation, on packaging, and on storage. Now I want you junior chefs to take a moment to pause the video and in your journals write down what you will be serving at your garden to table restaurant this summer and what ingredients you can grow in your own garden. I've got my summer menu set, and now I have the seeds that I need to grow to make that menu come to life. So what we're gonna do now is we are gonna plant them, starting with the cucumbers. So I have a cucumber seed. There's many varieties of cucumber. You might want to do a Persian one if you like a small crisp cucumber, or a bigger one. This one is called .76 cucumber. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open my package, and what I have here is, this is called a trellis. There's all different kinds of trellis. This is a metal, a wire one. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna help my cucumbers grow. They need this extra support because cucumbers are vining plants. That means they like to climb things or spread out. Cucumbers, they like to climb. They have little tendrils that help them, they're kind of like hands. They help them climb up things. So the little tendrils will wrap around this wire trellis, and they will grow up towards the sun so they can get enough energy to grow healthy and lots of air to flow through their leaves. I'm gonna start planting my cucumbers. I'm gonna plant them right here, right next to my trellis. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab about 4 seeds. So for cucumbers, you can plant about 2 cucumber plants per square foot. I'm putting 4 seeds in just to make sure that I get at least 2 to germinate. If I end up getting a little more than 2, then I can always thin them out and take some of them out so that we only have 2 in there. So I have an 8-foot long bed here with the trellis down the middle. So I'm just gonna take about a foot here. Well, let's say this is like about a foot, and do 4 seeds, maybe 2 on this corner of the foot and 2 on this other corner of the foot. Pat them down, and I'll just keep doing that all along this row. I'm gonna be planting my tomatoes next. This is a San Marzano tomato. This variety is really good for making sauces, which is what we need for our pizza. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my package, and I did take a look at the package. It has some instructions on how to plant this specific variety. So this says to do about 3 seeds every square foot or so. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open my package. I'm gonna grab 3 seeds. Tomato seeds are super tiny, by the way, so you gotta be really careful not to plant them too deep, because if they are too deep in the soil, they won't get enough heat from the sun to grow. So square foot, just like we did with the cucumbers, We have our square foot measurement. This is about 12 inches right here, a foot. And I'm not gonna plant it right next to my cucumber, right? My cucumber's right here. I'm gonna give it a little space. When you're planting tomatoes, you take the same square foot distance you took with the cucumbers, but instead of doing 4 seeds, you're just gonna do 3 tomato seeds right in the center of your square foot space. And you're not gonna put them too deep in the soil. We don't want them to get buried in there. And give it a pot, and that's it. Watermelon is my dessert on my menu, so I have to make sure I get some watermelon in my garden. So I have this Sugar Baby watermelon. It's a nice sweet watermelon. It's a little bit on the smaller side, which is perfect if you're growing in a small space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check my package. It says I can do about 2 or 3 seeds per square foot. So I'm gonna plant them here on the corner of my bed so they can grow off the bed and onto the space behind me. Make sure it's not on a pathway. You don't want to block a pathway, so this is a good spot. There's no walkway here, so I'm just gonna take my square foot distance. It's about a square foot in the center. I'll put my 3 seeds, and remember, if you got too many plants, you can always thin it out. And there we go. Watermelon is a little bit on the bigger side of it. It's a kind of a medium-sized seed, so make sure that you are paying attention to the size of your seed. You only want to go about 1.5 times the size of the seed. That's the depth that you want to put your seeds into the soil. We're planting our lettuce and basil right in front of our tomato here on the edge of the bed. You can do about 4 plants per square foot. So I already made my holes here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 in about square foot space, and all I do is just take maybe like 2 seeds per hole just to make sure you get germination. Pat them down. These are tiny seeds. Don't need a big hole, and that's it. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna plant some onions. I'm just gonna tuck in a few. Onions actually take a lot longer than the rest of these seeds to actually grow into a mature onion, but they are a kitchen essential. You can always use some onions. So I'm just gonna tuck in a few, kind of in a row every now and then. And probably in about 6 months, maybe come next season, cool season, we'll have some onions. No matter what your garden space looks like, make sure you water in your seeds after planting them, right? They need some water to get them activated, and then you need to keep watering them after that to keep them healthy and growing. I would come out maybe every day, if not then every other day, to just check the soil. And the way you check it is you use your finger. I like to use my finger. I stick it in the soil, and if it feels dry in there, then I will give it a good water. If it still feels kind of moist deep down in there, then I will leave it for another day. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Make sure you give us a follow on Instagram at PV School Gardens, and check out our new edible home and garden resource center on our website, pvschoolgardens.org.